been doing?
It's going good. It's going good. Fourth practice, so 2 in non-pads, helmets only, which, you don't get anything out of those other than just some off-season stuff, basically. I mean, we've been with these guys for probably about 6 weeks since signing day, so we've been kind of working with them non-padded stuff. So Sunday night was really the first padded practice, so that was really the first thing that we could tell, and that was just uppers. Today's more live stuff, full, so it'll be fun. We'll know a little bit more after today, and then obviously we'll keep progressing from here.
Health-wise, everything been good?
Yeah, I mean, just, the long-term guys are still, day-to-day stuff. I mean, Brendan Ferns has, been practicing, but you can tell he's just kind of feeling his way a little bit. Other long-term guys, Drayvon and Yadney and Karan, I think that's about it. Those guys are all just still working their way into it, so you won't see any of those guys today. Other than that, we're good to go.
Danny, a couple guys that weren't on the depth chart sort of conspicuous with their absence completely. You want to address Smothers?
Who would you be talking about?
Smothers wasn't anywhere. He's on the roster.
Smothers is working on his academics.
Okay.
So, there's a reason why they put student before athlete. So he's got an update on him this morning, and he's doing what he needs to be doing. But until he figures out the student part of it, he's not going to be the athlete part of it. Anybody else?
Angus Pooler.
Angus is in the same boat, plus some. Pooler's, he's out there doing something.
Okay.
Probably doing some rolls or some bear crawls or something that's going to make him hurt on the inside. So we'll leave it at that.
Dan, what 3 things do you feel you have to accomplish for this to be a spring to be successful? What would you like to walk out of here with?
I could probably give you 3 on each position. I could probably give you 3 on each player.
I got my space in the paper.
I know. I could give you 3 on offense, 3 on defense, 3 on special teams. We're so early in the process right now. I don't even know where to begin, honestly. I think we had a really good strength and conditioning 8 weeks. The 2 months that those guys focused on that, I was very pleased where they're at. We're kind of finding our way football-wise right now, so I have no idea what the identity of this team is. Got no idea what we're going to be able to do well, and it's just so early in spring and in the process of who this team's going to be, which is what's fun about.
It sounds like your mind's open anyway.
We are open at every position. We are open at every battle. We're figuring out what our schemes are going to be. We're doing some different things special teams wise. We're doing some different things offensively. Probably the more consistent phase of what this team is right now is what we do defense. On defense. I mean, that's probably the most continuity wise. I mean, Gibby's going into year 4 now, year 5, whatever, and kind of got our niche defensively, like where we're at with what we do. But are we going to have corners that can cover and be able to blitz as much as we've wanted to in the past? We're getting a pretty good free safety, one of the best free safeties in the country coming back. I mean, you're going to want to be able to see what he can do as far as covering different things. It's just so new. I don't know where we're at, which is what's fun about it. You get out and you practice hard and you see what you're made of and what you do well, and kind of build your team around that.
Does Drayvon get to do anything this spring?
He's probably a little bit more behind than obviously Ferns was, because Ferns is practicing. Yadney's, we just tested his knee and he's progressing. He's not quite ready, but I feel like we'll get him for a couple of weeks. Drayvon's he's a little slower, maybe on purpose, because we need him to go against Virginia Tech. If anybody, he's proven that he can be a difference maker. As many snaps as he's played in his first 2 years.
It's early, but a snapshot of your receiving core, how How do you feel about that?
Gary Jennings looks great. He looks great. David Sills looks really good. I mean, he's came in and it was a hobby for him. Mm-hmm. Now it's not a hobby; it's a full-time job. So he looks really comfortable. Battles on the outside: Marcus Sims, Javon, Ricky Rogers, Dominic Maiden. Those guys are competing right now. We're missing Karan right there. Saw Shelton in the office today. He got back. I was trying to convince him to rewind for a couple months ago, but just battles on the outside. But both David and Gary on the inside look spectacular.
What would you like them inside? Because you could have kept them outside.
Could have.
Yeah. What would you see out of them?
Toughness.
Mm-hmm.
Toughness. Got really good body control. They're tough. Those inside guys got to be able to, they got to be able to cover up linebackers. They got to be able to cover up guys like strong safeties like Kaiser White, and block those guys. One thing that Javon struggled with a little bit playing on the inside is the fact that he's 170. So I like those thicker guys, that can really hold their own and be tough and get hit over the middle and bounce up or bounce off that type of stuff and get us first downs like Tequil did so well for a couple of years.
with Will, how frustrating is it not to have a definitive answer on whether he can go? Or
I'm not worried about it.
How are you working now?
I'm not worried about it.
Are you confident that he will be?
I am. He's taking a lot of reps. Chugs looks really good. Everybody's like, everybody wants to hand it over to Will. Chugs looks really good. Chris has taken a lot of snaps here over the last couple of years, and there's a comfort level that exists with him that doesn't exist with Will based on the amount of snaps that he's taken. So those guys are splitting reps. Cody's shoulder has been gimped up. He's healthy. He went home over spring and he overthrew a day, and so he's been limited since he's been here. So I haven't repped him as much. Anxious to get his shoulder back to normal to where we can rep him as much too. But those are the only 3 arms on this campus right now. That's scary. You better get all 3 of them ready. So we're repping them all, and we're trying to get them all ready. I'm not worried about anything else other than that.
You need determination on the mid-year guys. I mean, just your evaluation, you've seen enough of them to say, well, they're good, they're not good.
Well, I'd have to think of who they are. I talked about David. Dominic Maiden looks decent. I can't think who they are right now. They're just I got I got all the guys that we're trying to rep equally at this point. Spring, there's no depth charts. There's no first team, second team stuff. So we've got a long ways to go.
One of those guys is at nose with Harvey, and then obviously you got Fields there who hasn't played a ton. Obviously important to find probably a few. Right?
Fields, it's good to have him back, because he's been out for a year. Harvey is thick and explosive, has no idea whether he should go right or left, but he's big and he's thick and he's explosive. Xavier Pegues is another one that's been MIA, that's back, that can play nose. So, that allowed us to move some of those other bodies to offense for some depth at guard, Schreiner, and Barrett, so moving those guys have allowed, having all those bodies has allowed us to do it. So we're a little thin at DN, but hopefully we'll get Pooler back and get some depth there. Ezekiel Rose, he looks good. He's another end body. Qualls is long and is explosive, but those guys are just they're so new. It's obviously really good to have those in spring. Wouldn't know a lot more about them. Doesn't know a lot more about what to do here in the next month.
Reese Donahue played a lot as an 18-year-old last year. We have expectations for him.
He's doing well. He looks big. He looks thick, and he's a big, strong, long kid. That's smart. So tough, try-hard guy. He'll keep getting better.
You moved Stone over to DN too. Wait, I mean, again, early, but what precipitated the move? What have you seen enough?
Just, couldn't block anybody, so we're like, shoot, if he can't block, let's see if he can tackle. He's big, he's thick. I mean, we need ends. We need all those D-line bodies that can hold gaps. I tell you, he's hard to block because his arms are He can touch the dang wall from here. He got long arms. That may help, from a DN point of view. We'll see.
When you watch Will Greer when he's taking those reps, what have you seen out of him over the last few months and what he's adjusted?
I see some frustration because he's a perfectionist and he wants everything to be easy and he wants everything to look great, and that's not reality. There's going to be growing pains for any quarterback at any level. So he's a really, really bright kid. He lives in the film room. He's there all the time. He asks a lot of questions. Having Jake here has been really good because Jake spends 3 hours on Saturdays with him if he needs to. So he's a bright kid. He's a coach's kid. He works hard. He wants things to look good. Ball looks really good coming out of his hands, and he's an athletic guy as well.
You see why he was 7-0 at Florida?
Yeah, and I'm not going to take the yellow jersey off of him like I did Skylar 3 years ago to try to get Skylar to do some things the way I wanted him to. I'm not gonna take that yellow jersey off of Will. It will be on. If he takes off running, they will stay very far away from him.